Welcome back. Let's turn our attention to the primary market action now. The public offering of Inox Green Energy has opened for subscription today. Devansh Jain, the executive director at Inox Green Energy Group now, joins us on the show. Devansh, morning, and thanks so much for joining in. First, if you could tell us why the promoters are selling stake in the IPO. Nearly 50% of the proceeds will go to the promoters.
Morning, Rima. Thank you for having me on the show. Let me just begin by saying we're very excited. The IPO opens today. We closed the anchor book yesterday with some of the most marquee names, including ICICI Pru, HDFC, Birla, and some of the most foreign marquee names like Nomura and Morgan Stanley, besides Inam. To answer your question with respect to why the promoters are sending, so the promoter family owns about 73.5% of Inox Wind, which is the listed wind turbine company, which in turn owns about 94% of Inox Green. So there are two components to the IPO. One is the primary piece, which is 370 crores, which is coming into Inox Green to make it a net debt-free entity. And the second component, which is the secondary piece, is an incremental 370 crores, which is going to Inox Wind to further pay down the debt at Inox Wind, keeping in mind the larger goal of making an Inox Wind and the consolidated wind business a net debt-free company.
Right, no, got that. So the company which is going to be listed will become debt-free, and Inox Wind will also pay debt down significantly because of this. Could you... Yeah, sorry, go on.
We're listing Inox Green, which primarily becomes...
Sorry, Inox Wind, yes.
And Inox Wind, which is the listed entity, which is the parent of Inox Green, also is getting 370 crores, which is the secondary piece of the IPO, as was asked. So that will also be used towards paring down the debt at the Inox Wind level. The larger goal being to make the entire consolidated wind business a net debt-free group, net debt-free company.
All right. Could you tell us a little bit about the business itself? What's the size of the business? What's the overall size of the market? Within the overall market, where is your company at? Who are the large customers? A little bit of detail.
Sure. So Inox Green is one of the largest wind O&M service providers in the country. It's basically a very long-term annuity business. So over the past 8 to 10 years, we've typically been operating at 50 to 55% margins. We've grown at a CAGR of almost 40% since inception in 2012-13 until now. And this includes the period when the wind sector went through a very bad phase. So we're very, very bullish about the growth prospects of the company. Talking a little bit about the industry outlook, renewables has been the buzzword for a while now, globally and more so now in India, where by 2030, we've announced a 500 gigawatt renewable energy program. And presently, we are at 150 gigawatts. So what we're looking at is about 350 gigawatts of installations in the next 8 years, which tantamounts to almost 40 to 45 gigawatts of installations yearly, within which wind's target is 175 gigs. And presently, we're at about 40 gigs. Which again means almost 16 gigawatts of yearly installations in wind. And the peak wind we've ever done is about 5 gigs, and the peak solar we've ever done is about 15 to 17 gigs in this country. So we're talking of virtually 3xing wind and more than 2xing solar on a yearly basis in India. Now, this is the larger picture. Whether we achieve 60, 70, or 100% of the target, the sheer numbers are massive. More importantly, I think what's happened is renewables has become the cheapest source of power, not just globally, but in India. And all three segments, which is the IPPs, the public sector enterprises, as well as the retail captive market, all three seem to be firing on very, very strong cylinders. So you mentioned about customers. I think some of the largest corporates in India, such as Adani, Tata, Torrent, who are our customers, have announced mega plans on the renewable energy side. Even some of the largest PSUs, like NTPC, SJVNL, IOCL, who are our customers, have announced mega investment plans on the renewable energy side. And mind you, this excludes the entire retail captive market, which is also taking off significantly, given for energy security purposes, to have a very, very stable energy cost, as well as for green credential purposes. You have a lot of large corporates and exporters coming in to set up more and more renewable energy capacity.
All right, got that, Devansh. We've run out of time, unfortunately, but we'd love to have you on again, when the company does list, and then we can perhaps take some more questions. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We're out of time on this edition of Trading Hour, but the market is holding up above that 18,300 mark. It is a 1.6% gain. The Nifty Bank, 1.5% in the green as well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Halftime Report is up next.